And
Exactly.
no one gets nervous about those prescriptions, but for some reason, when we're at this time of life, it becomes a fear. But yes, I think more people are becoming aware of the value of it. And so how do you see nutrition playing a part in hormone replacement, and how do you do that in your practice?
Well, I mean, anytime somebody's eating an out of balanced diet or they're having a lot of processed food, there is very likely an inflammatory response. And then if they have also a leaky gut, that the persistent issues of eating processed food or a poor diet promotes the leaky gut. I see a lot of estrogen dominance, which is a problem where the liver is overloaded and it can't appropriately clear estrogen. So sometimes we'll have women, especially like in their 40s and early 50s, who maybe their progesterone is starting to drop, but their estrogen is sky high, and it's because of a poor nutrition and leaky gut. So really looking at cleaning up the diet in that regard, bringing down the carbohydrate content, so the more good fats and protein, I see better responses there, and then healing their leaky gut, detoxing their liver, then we have a lot better response with the hormones we're using.
And also, we can't forget, unfortunately, in our modern time, all of our exposure to all of the, xenoestrogens and toxins that, in all of, not just food, water, air, skin products.
For sure.
There's a lot of places that we are getting these estrogen mimickers that can also, I would imagine, affect what you're doing on your end by giving, bioidentical, right?
Well, I think it's a really important point, because what happens is people may be looking at levels of things, but there's receptor resistance where if you have xenoestrogens or these toxic estrogen mimickers, they can bind the receptor and activate the receptor, and then the good stuff can't get where it's trying to go. So detoxification, healing leaky gut, being aware of what you put in your environment, in your skincare, in cleaning products and that type of things is hugely important as well.
Basically, I call menopause the perfect storm. Because prior to that, the estrogen can protect, and you might have had all of the, dysbiosis, leaky gut, and things present, but you just didn't know about it.
Right.
So I think it is really, really critical to, that these things work hand in hand. So I'd like you to talk a little bit about your online presence in your practitioners training academy.
Yeah, well, that is a work in progress. So my goal is to, as I continue to systemize my method, because just to go piggyback off of what you just said, menopause being, what did you say, a perfect storm. For a lot
Mhm.
of my patients, it's not, to be honest. So what I found is if I describe sort of the stool of vibrance and how your mitochondrial function, your thyroid, your adrenals, and your hormones all pull off of each other. So if any one goes under, if it's overworked, the other three have to hold the stool up and then they burn out faster. So I talk about how at menopause, it's a massive stressor that I agree with. And it relies on the adrenal gland, which none of us really have reserve enough to handle that. So when the ovaries are done and the adrenal takes over, that massive stressor can knock out two legs at a time. But if we've been paying attention the whole time, we have people on appropriate adrenal support. We know what's happening with their hormones. We have their gut healed and the liver cleared. I find most of my patients, we can get them under control and balanced really pretty easily, because the menopausal shifts are starting at least 5 to 10 years prior to an absence of hormones. It's not a quick, as a general rule, it's a gradual decline. So my program that I'm working on is dialing in the steps to do that, to take back sovereignty, to take back your own ability to keep your body well, not just through healing. So healing it so that you can transition through menopause, like you said, healing it all the way into performance. So then we can get into the fun things like slowing aging and biohacking. So that's what the practitioner training I'm going to be offering, hopefully in the next year or so, to all types of different providers on the system on how to do it, the right steps to get the best results. So that I'm working on. And then I also have my second book that's in the works, and that is about how to take yourself through this journey. So constant gaslighting, medical gaslighting, getting frustrated, not getting answers, being stripped of hope, being labeled with diagnoses, and having it be many things that we actually can help and work on. So empowering people to take back that control and take themselves on a healing journey into performance. And it's got a combination of patient examples and my own journey, and allows people to take their own history and journey and kind of travel with me on this path, to reclaim sort of sovereignty over their own health is what I'm calling that. So
Well, I love it, and I look forward to getting it when it's out. And again, to me, it's putting the tools in the patient's hand to say, these are the questions on how we can take care of ourselves, which I think that is such a important message, again, of hope and empowerment. Those are my two words of this talk. And
yeah.
so also it seems to becoming much more common and understood about like the spiritual aspect and that part of healing. So I would just love you to comment on that a bit and how you see that, because I think it's been ignored for so long, but now we know that this thought, these feelings, it's chemicals, it's real, it's communicated.
And it's one of my favorite topics. So I was always open to understanding trauma and how it affects the physical vessel. But the more I've studied into what's going to be the next 10 years from now, understanding quantum, what's happening in the fascia, what's happening at the cellular level from an energetic perspective, we're starting to understand that there's electrons being passed and communication happening that we know nothing about. And that we have this physical vessel that we've all really focused on, but other cultures focus on the chi and the chakras and the energy systems that are coming out for feet out of our physical body. So understanding that that is an entire new component that needs to be healed, and understand that that's where a lot of our traumas and a lot of our spiritual work is going to be helping. So our mitochondria, for example, our fascia, are there's many parts of our body that respond to where our thoughts are.